All right, we are live.
All right, I will give them a heads up to stop on over here. Are you able to show the game in Discord?
Yes. All right, that's up.
Okay, cool. And we just wait until they wait.
All right. You know, this game still boots up in windowed every other time for me.
Really? It
Yeah.
never. Huh. That's unfortunate.
All right, all right.
Looks like we got people filtering in already.
All right, hello. Looks like we got, looks like they're showing up. Hello, welcome on in.
Good morning, everyone.
This is our part. This is SHMUP Fest 2023. We got Astral Gunners here. I'm Dash. I'm just some Twitch idiot who streams games. And with me here, I got Sammy, the one of the two developers of this game.
Yes, I'm just a dev idiot, I guess. This is our game that we've made. Dash is going to play it for you guys today. He's attempting to increase the world record as the current world record holder. If anyone thinks they can beat him, there's this event on Steam going on right now called the SHMUP Fest, where a lot of shmups on discount. So this is probably going to be the cheapest you can get the game for.
All right, so yeah, to kick things off, we'll just be playing arcade mode, which is, just what you'd expect. We got 5 characters here. I'm a big fan of the green boy. And then we discussed which difficulty to do for an event like this, and we thought, maybe play it safe with normal, but
it's still pretty early for both of us. It's risky go. All right, he just went for hard. All right.
Right. Since it's like 6 a.m. where we're at, yeah, and so
all right, no messing around.
I'm on like 3 hours of sleep here, but I mean the deal is I've played hard mode so much at this point that I feel like seeing the patterns look any different will just mess me up.
Fair enough. So yeah, all right. Try and answer any questions in chat. MK is saying looks like it has more characters since I still don't know how to say commit. Is it comite? Either ways, it's got the same amount of characters since that event. We have like 5 character ideas we want to add, but we need to stop ourselves from doing that so we can actually finish the game. Because this is still early access, but it should be releasing very soon, hopefully early next year.
I think I barely killed that UFO. So
yeah, that was close.
So let's make sure everybody can hear Sammy pretty well, right? And I'm about the same volume. I just need to make sure. But also, you've got a question in chat. What were your biggest inspirations?
Biggest inspirations. I mean, a lot of cave games like Pro Gear, Mushihime-sama, Death Smiles, Akai Katana. Jamestown was actually another really big influence for this game. Just in terms of, I really always appreciated how Jamestown doesn't play like a typical Danmaku or Bullet Hell. It kind of plays how I think the average person expects them to play. So we took a little bit of that, so there's a lot less bullets just aimed directly at the player that you kind of guide around the screen. So it's a little bit different in that regards. And then also Radiant Silvergun, Ikaraga are 2 big influences as well, just for kind of like the spirit of the game and stuff like that. But really, really tough to make games the same way that Treasure does. But yeah, I'd say those are probably the big influences.
Let me real quick. I'm gonna enlouden you just a tiny bit based off feedback, real quick.
Well, now you paused. The run's not legit anymore.
Now,
technical issues.
Is there anything like that with shmups at all where you've considered, like, if the player pauses X times, then they can't submit or anything like that? Has that ever been like a consideration?
I'm pretty sure in general it's I'm probably not the best person to ask for that, but I will say like most score attack modes and games and stuff like that don't let you pause the game, so I would say it's pretty frowned upon.
Dude, I thought I had I usually have a special at that spot, so I was like a little bit off script there, and I almost died.
Hey, still doing fine.
Yeah, I have not died yet. Oh, and we got the crazy spawner at the perfect time.
Oh, nice.
We might have to talk about some score mechanics here, because this is very, very good right now.
This is a new enemy that was just added in the last update. He's nicknamed the Microwave because he generates a bunch of popcorn enemies when you shoot him.
So yeah, the basic way that that scoring works here is that we've got the multiplier at the top that's back to 1 right now, because when you use your special, you're able to scoop up enemy bullets with it, and then every bullet that you scoop up increases your multiplier. But if your multiplier hits 100, you go into overload, which is like a Guitar Hero star power kind of, where for a limited amount of time, your score is boosted all the way up to 250 if you're on hard mode. And during that time, your regular shot also produces medals, like little score tokens. So right now I'm sucking up a bunch of the enemy's bullets. Boom, now we're in overload, and now all of my shots produce these score-producing medals for a limited time before we drop back to 1.
Yeah, and Dash is playing probably the most complicated character out of everyone. He's got this little... He's got an option that follows him, and most of the time there's a second attack button that gives you a second ability, but with this character it just controls the options, so you can create this tether between the two that absorbs, that like what you were just saying, that absorbs the bullets.
Yes. Oh, go on.
The black hole bullets are actually, so there's also another mechanic in this game where you can use a defense move pretty frequently, because that's intended to be the panic button instead of your special. The black hole bullets are special, where those actually can't be stopped with your defensive abilities. So sometimes they're thrown in there as a check so that people can't just spam that and stay alive forever.
Yeah, so the strength of green is like I can lock the buddy at the bottom here and just kind of shoot both sides of the screen at once, which I really like. And also, so you had mentioned that the other characters have a second shot, right? Like, for example, the blue guy has like a beam that's piercing that he can shoot. Light gunner has homing shots and stuff like that. Green, with the lack of the second shot, he does have the most powerful shot one in the game. If you're combining your shot with your buddy. Like, if we're both shooting here, it's more powerful than any other characters. But it's less powerful than the other character's shot, too.
Yeah, definitely with like red and violet in particular, you can, like, these bonus wave sections that occur when you kind of fast clear certain sections of the game, they just get a lot more of those than green ever possibly can. So that's definitely a tough thing with shoot 'em ups with multiple characters, is you want to try and balance them all, but I think it's almost an impossible task, because the goal has just been to make each character feel fun to play. It's not till like years later till you find like, oh, that character was busted the entire time, I guess. So we'll see which one ends up being the most busted. I still think light gunners got the highest score potential, but that's no one's really popped off with light gunner yet. It's been mostly blue, red, and green.
So on this part, the end stage boss is behind you, right? And you can shoot these mines and actually do damage to him that will persist at the end of the stage. However, I kind of ignore that mechanic and just like go all out for score here, and for safety. Like, when these mines explode, it's kind of dangerous, and so I kind of clear the bullets with the defensive move. Oh no, but I'm...
Oh yeah, when you get a second, you should if you can show both defensive moves with that character.
Oh yeah.
You have the ability to teleport with Green Gunner as well. Well, that one's a much more situational ability.
Alright, so I died once there. Okay, and this, I think, is the hardest thing in the entire game right here. Is just, dodging that move.
Yeah, and this is just a random mini boss. That is always just the fun thing to watch as a developer, is like certain moments that you just didn't think were going to be super challenging are way more challenging, and the difficulty curves are really hard to nail down. But you're also on hard, so like everything should just be hard if you're playing on that mode. Do we have to change things in the stages just for certain characters? We tried to have little moments sprinkled in where characters can use their abilities, but also the other tough thing about making a game with a bunch of characters is you almost have to take more of a sandbox approach to the level design, which I think lends to it feeling a little bit less focused. But I think we did a good job of trying to sprinkle in like certain moments where like there's Dystopia's got a moment where like Green Gunner can utilize the option going in one route, and Green can go in there's the top and bottom route you can go, and you can just take both routes. There's moments like that, for example. We try to sprinkle in to each level.
So a big thing in bosses is that the whole mechanic of your shot one generating medals is really, really good when all of your shots are always hitting something, which tends to happen in bosses. So I think a big deal with score is to try to find a moment in each boss where they've generated enough bullets on the screens where you can make sure that you can overload off of a single special, because you're generally not... Hang on, I have to dodge this. Because you're generally not getting any special meter during boss fights, because those come from gems from regular enemies. So it's good to know that one best moment to use your special for each boss.
Yeah, and some of the bosses, they're on the first phase, some are the second phase, some are the third phase. Some of them I intended to not be able, like the Azuria boss fight, I intended that to be a boss fight that you couldn't get a full overload from, and you'd have to show up to the boss with at least partial multiplier, but then, as usual, players will find a way. So, I think in phase 2 of Hydra, you can actually get you can get the full meter, which I thought I did the math and everything. Was like, oh, this is impossible, but it's way easier. Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, the boss throws his subordinate out of anger, and it explodes and just creates bullets. Yep. You saw that correctly.
And then the other thing that happened at the end there was, so Castle, the big yellow guy, came in to assist that battle. The reason that happened is because I saved him in the first stage, and then whatever stage you pick next, he comes out to assist you in. And now in the green stage, I saved the guys in the UFO, and now those UFO guys are going to help me in the next stage. So whichever order that you do the levels in kind of depends on the way that you get assistance. Alright, there's also some hidden shadow bosses that are really hard. I didn't do the first one right away because we were still talking about basic stuff, but I'm going to try it. So you mentioned the defensive maneuver. Green can, he can teleport like that between he and his buddy. So yeah, Green's got 2 defensive abilities. One, he just kicks forward. Yeah.
I was gonna try and take over the talking because this is tough to. You're doing good.
Oh yeah. Now we'll see the second one.
Pressing your second attack ability puts the turret in like a stay mode or a follow mode. When it's in the stay mode, you teleport to it. When it's following you, you just kind of kick it like a soccer ball. All right,
yeah.
Shadow attempt.
And so, compared to other characters' defensive abilities, I think that is kind of Green Gunner's weakness, is the fact that, like, if I'm, like, moving upward and I use the defensive ability, it only kind of kicks and clears bullets in front of you a little bit, which then kind of gets you hit as you continue to go up, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of tragic that despite having 2 options for defensive abilities, both of them are kind of underwhelming, but that was partially intentional.
Yeah, the teleport can be very cool if it's used right, though.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, But
compared to like Red Gunner, who can create this giant zone that just keeps bullets out, or Blue Gunner with his Dark Souls dodge roll kind of thing, and Light Gunner with the bullet reflex, yeah, that's definitely Green Gunner's weak spot.
I think I just remembered what my strat was here. Oh, but then I died.
Yeah, that shadow fight's maybe a little. I think the health on the boss is just a little bit too much.
So those are bonus fights that you get for finding all the collectibles, and it's a really nice score bonus if you can complete them, but I usually don't beat them. Well, I'll beat a couple of them. There's a couple of them I got down.
You get red pretty consistently. Green, I don't think I've seen you beat. Light seems pretty 50-50, and I think you beat Violet last night when you were playing this.
Yeah, Violet I did.
But Violet also didn't have the update to actually have hard mode bullets, so.
Is that the case with Blue right now also?
Blue, I think, should have the hard mode bullets.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing. When you do, so right now Dash is playing on hard mode. Those purple spiky bullets are added in hard mode, mostly just because wanted to actually be able to like display what the true screw you bullets are in the game, and also mechanically when you use your special on those bullets, they don't actually add to your multiplier. They just get turned into these medallions that just give you a flat increase in your score. So the score routing between normal and hard doesn't really change that much. And then there's a difficulty past hard with Revenge, where you have a different class of bullets that just shoot out from enemies when they die.
All right, now we can show that defensive move a little bit better. It's like that.
Yeah, this is a good spot.
Or if he's locked, then you... Oops! I pressed the wrong button.
It's a wasted special.
I meant
yeah, that second defensive ability is really, really good defensive ability. So yeah, this is the Tony Hawk section of the level where you gotta just collect random pieces to build something. The orange worker in the earlier part of this stage has a snowmobile or a flame mobile that's broken. You gotta collect the parts.
And I usually have an overload here, but I wasted my first special. But that's fine. It'll only make a difference for score.
This is still looking like a pretty good score run. What's the? I'm guessing your high score is the current world record right now. So.
Yeah, I just got that last night.
So it's 465 million.
I'm dead. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did miss a flame mobile part. Yeah.
So you won't get orange to help you on the next level.
Right, and so I'll probably need to use my special later because the boss won't die as fast.
And this, one interesting thing I think about developing games is some of the bosses in this game, the art was made first, and then the gameplay was built on top of those sprites. That boss right there that was just defeated, that one was just made in code, and then I had my brother just kind of find art that fit on top of that boss fight. It's always kind of fun to see what types of bosses were created by the developer or the artist.
I'm in concentration mode, sorry.
Yeah. I'm always surprised you say this is the one of the harder parts of the game. I think it's just because on hard mode they have those lingering bullets.
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
That stick around. That make that a bit unintentionally hard. Well, I mean, it's doable. You just did it, so. Right, King Crimson.
The popcorn enemy came out again, or the microwave, but the previous pattern tricked me, and I lost my multiplier first.
So we got SHMUP's SDG clip says, awesome boss design, thanks. Really appreciate it. I've seen a few comments on some of the art and stuff, and that's definitely appreciated. Hauser's asking, how hard is it to work with my brother? He is the most difficult person to work with, and I'm also the most difficult person to work with, and I'd like to think that we made something pretty cool with that dynamic. No, he's great to work with. I mean, we're brothers, so we know each other, so it's like we almost don't even have to like say stuff, and we just kind of know what to do. So yeah, it's been a fun experience to just kind of try and make a game that we would have loved to play growing up as kids. So. Yeah, this was the part where I expected the the teleport to be more useful, but especially if you're like in overload mode, you get punished for using the defensive abilities.
Yeah.
Favorite games as kid. So we grew up with Nintendo consoles, but I always had friends with Sega consoles, and those were always the cooler consoles in my mind. So I think we played. Oh, you're shaking your head. I don't know. Street Fighter, Super Smash Bros, Kirby games. It kind of just depends on like what era, what age. But a lot of multiplayer games were big things. That's, I guess, the benefit of having a brother close in age who also likes video games. What were your favorite games growing up, Dash?
Oh, Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, Super Mario Bros 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64. I think that about covers it.
Fair enough. Let's see, Dr. Spot, I think is the name of this, or DRS Pod, is asking, how good do you have to be at shmups to design a good shmup? Can you beat your own game? First part of that question, I don't know. I don't know if I get to decide if I'm able to make good shmups. That just comes down to what other people think. I think it's a good shmup, so I think I'm okay at shmups. I think I'm good enough to read what other people say makes the genre special to them, and that's different for everyone. So I kind of look at what's fun about the genre for me, and a lot of it's just having tons of ridiculous scoring mechanics on screen. Like, you got a bunch of medals flying at you right now in the game, and Crimson Clover was actually, going back to inspirations, that was the game I studied a lot before working on Astral Gunners. I think you can either, like, being good at shmups is a different skill probably than making them, but there's a lot of overlap. I can beat my own game on revenge mode, though. I play tested a lot of that in slow motion mode. I'll give away that secret. A lot of the design stuff is built around trying to like map stuff out on paper and going after that.
So, for revenge mode, have you ever heard the idea that you should design a game slightly harder than you can beat?
Yeah, that. Well, I don't know if I'm trying to remember who said. I've heard that sentiment before, and that was kind of revenge mode. Like hard mode, what you're playing on right now, that's to my limit where I have to be fully focused, but I can beat it if I'm fully focused. Revenge mode was just like, I hope people can beat this. Someone will figure it out. Hauser's asking me, you like Mario Bros, Dash?
It's the best.
Want clarification on that? Okay, yeah. Which Mario Bros game is the best?
You know, my
Which one's
favorite
the most
is
like a shmup.
my favorite is Mario 64. Okay, so here I would have a buddy helping me if I had collected all the flame mobile parts in the previous level, but I messed up. So I'm gonna try to overload off this pattern.
You got it. Oh, you might actually get the. That's one of my favorite patterns in the game that always gets cut off just because the boss dies too quick. Where shoots out the pink bullets and then
they come back in.
Gravity back into them.
I was gonna say I've never even seen this pattern.
Yeah, that's another challenge, I guess, about making. I don't know. This is probably true for any game where there's always just going to be stuff you put in the game that like people who are really good at the game will probably never see. Actually, I think shmups are unique in that, or like any on-rail game is unique in that, where you almost have the really good players will miss some of the content because they just don't stick around. They kill bosses quicker, they get through areas quicker. A lot of other games, it's usually there's always stuff that you put in the game that people will just never see, and I think it's important to just kind of be okay with that.
Yeah.
And this part of the stage is the holdout section from the Dark Army. They're trying to attack that data tower, and if you fail that part, going off of that thought, that whole place explodes, and you get a a death from failing that. I think that's the only part in the game where you can just die without a bullet hitting you.
It took me so long to figure out that you just should destroy one of those clouds, and then that makes it a lot easier to get through 3 of them.
And there's the spot to use teleport.
Yeah, that's my favorite teleport spot there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only spot where like the teleport feels necessary with green. You're literally dodging rain right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's maybe one thing to talk about. Speaking of rain, is the fact that like only bullets hurt you in the game. And so it's interesting with like how King Crimson has like I forgot to do the strat. Hang on a second.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get it though. I just,
wow.
Dude, I just forgot to do it.
That's my favorite strat you do. So that's, you know, you did the strat. Yeah, so you can if you hold down the shot 2 button, you can move the option with Green Gunner. So what Dash was doing there was moving the option up and down to collect the bullets from both the Hydra's
mouths.
That stage is down, so you got Dystopia is the only one left, right?
Yes. All right, so there as well, I lost a bit of score, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
because
might still have a chance at beating it.
I was in the middle of saying something, which is why I forgot, and now I also forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, bullets. So that like King Crimson has that like melee attack, but it's expressed via like a series of bullets.
Oh yeah, like the claw swipe kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like this strat is a little bit of a cheese, where like if you destroy all 5 of his spawners, he kind of goes nuts. But if you just destroy 4 of them, then it just makes the first phase really easy.
Yeah, and I think this is the so my philosophy on just a lot of single player games is you should always try and lean into making the players feel like they're overpowered. Because like if you're making a multiplayer game, you want things to be balanced, but if it's a single player game, you should have the power fantasy in the game. But I would be lying if I didn't say I would see stuff like that and think like, oh, okay, I don't want you to feel that overpowered. It's a little cheesy, but I think that's probably gonna stay into the final version of the game. It's fun to have those moments where you just kind of figure out, oh yeah, I can choose the spot. Oh, nice to beat Shadow Blue.
Yeah, Blue is definitely my most consistent of the Shadow fights.
Yeah, I think kind of like based off what you were saying is I think Shadow Blue is more of a knowledge check than the other Shadow fights. Where if you know what to do, it's an easy one.
All right, and we got one more level. So this is the most recent level added. So I'm a lot less practiced at this one. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and this we had a prototype version of this game released a while ago, and just a couple of days ago we added the final version of this with the full audio track, and everything syncs up to the music now. And yeah, it feels like we made it a full level, whereas kind of before I think we put a version of the level that wasn't quite up to par with the others. But this is probably one of my favorite levels in the game now. And so there's these security drones that have that green wireframe around them that if you get caught by that, they send a lot of enemies at you that are basically impossible to dodge if you do get caught. But yeah, you're getting hit by the stealth just to create more bullets for the score. So
yep,
this stage is it's easy if you want it to be easy, or it can be hard if you want to just farm the score.
But yeah, doing that is really risky because like the execution of it requires that like you got to scoop up the bullets properly, but also all of the little guys that circle you and come in, if you're able to kill all of them, you also get your special back. But if you don't, then and you don't notice that you didn't get your special back, and then you go hit another spawner, then you just suicide.
It's a risky game, and yeah, this is a section where you're racing against a samurai gunner. You have to throw a race in a game somewhere, and yeah, if you beat him in the race, you'll get him as an assist like all the other kind of characters on the stages. And that one's probably the most overpowered one. Which yeah, don't want to tell you how to play the game, Dash, but I would heavily consider maybe putting this stage somewhere in the middle of the run to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, I am considering making it the new second stage, also because it has an extra life in it. And at the end of a stage, you get... Oh my god. At the end of a stage, you get 1,000,000 points for every extra life you have. And so...
Oh yeah.
If you really want to min-max, it's best to do the stages with extra lives first.
Yeah, that's true. That's sometimes why, like, you gotta watch people play your games, because that's like a layer of min-maxing that doesn't even cross my mind. It kind of makes me think maybe go in and throw a hidden health pack in every level, but I don't know if that's the right call. I think having that decision to make is good to have. And in this part of the level, you can just spam your special ability. Wing Fox Dev, thank you for that comment. We put a lot of care, and my brother, who's probably sleeping right now, he did all of the artwork, and he put so much time into some of these animations. And unfortunate part is being a bullet hell, sometimes there's some animations just completely covered up by bullets. Some boss fights, there's animations that we had to go back in and or bullet patterns we had to go back in and just make them shoot a little bit differently so we could actually see the hours of effort put into the animation work.
This, I died there. This phase of this boss is very, very good at getting you to look away from your character and then also hitting you.
Yeah, and that's kind of going back to what I said earlier on the start of the stream, being kind of inspired by Jamestown, where this plays kind of more like what I think the average person expects a Danmaku or a bullet hell to play like. I think Astral Gunners is a game where if you use your peripheral vision, you're kind of screwed. You want to focus a lot on your character, but that's like one moment in the game where like you have to kind of like focus on aiming and all that stuff. It's tough.
Okay.
Let's see if you can get this one.
Nice. I'm considering putting the skulls in the front instead of in the back, but for now we're
like
still
flying up and yeah. The soundtrack was done by me, so I did the programming and music and audio, and my brother did the artwork, and we both kind of worked together on the game design. And I got help from the person who mixed it. Sean also does a lot of stuff for my band Oak Pantheon. So if anyone likes the music, it's more black metal than power metal, but
Oak Pantheon is more black metal.
Gotta name drop my band too.
Yeah.
Link. Yeah, it's on. Let me pull up a link here. Oh, okay. Other people on top of it. And you can also get the soundtracks on Steam too, and it is the cheapest the game will be for a while, because it is still early access, so the base price is discounted from what it's going to be when it hits full release.
This is one of those bosses that tricks you. Where the less you move, the easier it is. At least for this.
Yeah, there is something here too where it's I don't think it's as obvious as it could be, but Violet does the parry ability. So there's a certain part where if you keep shooting, it creates a harder pattern. But yeah, that's maybe not as clear as a mechanic as I'd hope.
Like I want to look at the health bar, but I can't look away from my character.
You're almost there. You almost got it.
Yeah. Oh man. Whew. Oh geez, this might be the new record actually. What?
Yeah, I think you're on pace to. I don't know, how much do you usually get from hyperspace? Is it like 40 million?
I don't know. I think this might barely be my new PB. But all right. So yeah, now we go to the final stage, which is a. So you guys are working still on the real final stage, right?
Yeah. There's going to be one more stage in the game. So this stage is going to be updated to be a little bit more of a focus stage. There's a song that's going to be added to it, which has a guest drum solo in it from someone. I wonder who it is. It's Dash also is really good at drums, so he's got a drum solo on the track for this stage.
Now, this soundtrack is a little above my usual tempo, though. So I will say I only composed the drum solo and programmed it. I didn't actually play it.
Hey, you're an honest man. I wasn't gonna tell anyone.
Oh no! I let my Oh, you know what? So I just dropped the record right there at the end because I killed the boss too quickly and didn't allow it to shoot its next bullet pattern, which I could have scooped up and gotten another overload there.
Just barely shy of a new world record.
One little mistake right at the end there. But yeah, I missed throughout that run I missed at least 3 important overloads. So
yeah, you still have a lot of room.
So
there is going to be a final stage called Dark World that's going to be kind of like a boss rush style stage, and then after that the game's pretty much finished outside of any extra features we want to add to it.
Yeah, and thank you for all the GGs. So with
we got a few minutes, we can maybe show off a few of the other characters quickly before we got to move to the next one.
Yeah. So right now that you guys have seen a bunch of Green Gunner, so the other characters, we can probably most easily show off the training mode at the same time to kind of show them a little bit.
True.
But yeah, so you got 5 characters. One thing I really like about this game is we've talked a lot about scoring, and you guys are probably the crowd to care about scoring a lot. But at the same time, though, also I think that there's a nice completionist element to the game as well, where you got 5 different characters to beat the game as. You've got different difficulties to tackle and that kind of thing too. So, I'm not really a SHMUP player. So honestly, when I first started playing this, I was just interested in beating the game with all the characters, you know? But then it was when I started to notice the intricacies of the scoring system and stuff, I then got really into the scoring system after that. So yeah, there's also...
I do think there's 2 big ways I think people play shmups. Just kind of off that thought, there's a lot of people who only care about 1cc's and people who only care about score. So it's... Just want to say it's fine to only care about 1cc.
Yeah. And right, yeah, that the 1cc is a big deal. So yeah, you can see the DPS at the top here with the different characters, because this training mode is super robust, and so first of all you can see Light Gunner has these homing missiles, and then you've got Blue has this kind of spread, but then this laser that does very, very good DPS, and you move really slowly while you shoot the laser, which is actually kind of nice for dodging certain patterns, and it's piercing as well. And then
I think blue might be the only character with 3 movement speed options, where you got your shot 1, your focus shot, and your laser.
And then red has a charge shot, which this does like the biggest damage in the game pretty much as far as I can tell. Maybe not so much as Violet's melee, but like if you can time out these charge shots, you're doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, and considering how much safer you can be too, it's worth the trade-off.
Yeah, and then Violet is the fastest and has a big Kirby's Dream Land 2 melee as well. And this does a ton of damage as well. This is more than the charge shots, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and they're about the same from what I remember. Yeah, and Violet's the character that was just designed. That's my personal favorite in the game. It's it's high risk, low reward, which is my favorite kind of play style.
So yeah, this training mode is super robust, where you can just pick any section of any level. Oh, it crashed on that one.
That's all right. That's great time to have it crash. It is still early access, so training mode has been a tough thing to get perfect. What even? I'll worry about it later about what.
I think it was Crimson Peak Section 2 that I picked.
Okay.
But then you got presets, right? Well, I set up this one from before. Remember that thing that I forgot to do earlier that I failed?
Oh, yeah.
Let's try it again here. So I like to move this guy here, and when this shot almost hits you, boom, you hit the special, suck up his bullets, then back up to him, and there you go. There's the overload in one shot.
Yeah,
and so you can just practice that.
Yeah, we're trying to make the best training mode we can, so it's still in early access, so if anyone... with anything in the game, if anyone's got things that I want to suggest as feedback, we're actively listening to stuff. Still got a bit more time before it's the full release, but definitely want to try and add in everything we can before we just completely close the book on Astral Gunners. Yeah, I think 4 more minutes here probably.
Oh, yeah. I suppose lastly, speaking of like the completionist elements and stuff as well, so you got your global high scoreboard and stuff, but then there's also like this summary page I like a lot that keeps track of all your scores of all your characters and gives you a big total number to try to get higher as well. Oh yeah, there's couch co-op in this game as well. How about that?
Yeah, that's been probably a fun thing about taking this game to demo events and conventions and stuff. Is I think the most popular crowd, the crowd this game's the most popular with is usually just like a dad who grew up with shmups and then their kid that they're trying to really convince to play shmups, and this seems to appeal to that dynamic. Co-op has been something that we threw in as an afterthought, but I've seen a lot of people get way more enjoyment out of it than I expected. It's kind of fun with some of the mechanics to have. You can like have a support character with Light Gunner who can create shields for Violet to be more aggressive with swords. So,
all right.
Thanks Ben for picking up the game. Really appreciate that. Wondering if you're able to raid the next stream or.
Yeah. Let me just see if they are live and ready to go here. But yeah, this has been Astral Gunners. I'm Dash. I'm a full-time streamer. And then this has been Sammy with me. One half of the developers.
Yeah, thanks again everyone for tuning in today. I think we still got a minute or two to kill. like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, don't forget to hit that bell notification, or I don't know, whatever else is added to that. What do you say on Twitch?
On Twitch, please give me money.
Just get straight to the point here on Twitch. I'm trying to. Did you go through the or did you show the achievement section?
Oh no, that's right. Okay, so yeah, so you got achievements as well, which have a mechanic assigned to them where when you game over, the number of continues that you have increases as you get achievements, which is that's another fun, like, almost like, don't take these words too seriously, but it reminds me of like the roguelite element where it's like almost more punishing at the start, but as you kind of get into it a little bit, then there's a little bit of relief through your first couple unlocks, you know what I mean? Reminds me of that just a little bit, you know?
Oh, I was just saying, you said the word, yeah, now everyone's gonna go
now it's got the roguelite tag on Steam.
Now it's gonna get bad reviews, it's gonna get review bombed and all that.
I'm just saying that it reminds me of that
I
gameplay
love
flow a
roguelikes
little bit.
personally, so it's I like that loop of, you know, being able to kind of have that long-term progression. It looks like the other stream's up, so I think we can probably hop on over there.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you everybody for watching over here, and let's head over to, how do I say this? K Lyank 09. 09? That's the year I graduated high school, which I was gonna say, I wonder if that's them too, but they might have been born in 09 for all I know.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching the stream.
All right.
And yeah, got a lot more shmups today.
Let's go.